This is all relevant to my guest today, radio podcasters Olly, Mann and Helen Zaltzman were so frustrated they couldn't crack the top 20 in the UK, so they took their podcast to Luxembourg. In Luxembourg, it was a huge success and got to number 4 in the charts. Let's have a listen.
Podcast chart. We found that one of the world's smallest countries, Luxembourg, has its own iTunes.
So we headed off to win over Luxembourg.
But have we cracked the iTunes Comedy Top 100 in Luxembourg?
Well, Olly, I can tell you, we are at number 13.
Oh my God, how easy is it to crack Luxembourg? Let's celebrate!
Time to hit the minibar.
It was empty, of course. As you can see, Olly and Helen here. Welcome to you.
Hello.
Why did you want, Helen, you start this, why did you want to get to the top of this chart, any chart, so much?
Well, it was a slightly spurious jape that got out of hand, I think. We'd managed to get to number 21 in the UK chart, and we're just producing this from my living room in Crystal Palace.
Sure.
And all the ones in the top 20 are BBC or Channel 4 radio. And we didn't stand a chance
against them. So never mind a glass ceiling,
them.
there's a real steel ceiling there. You just couldn't penetrate it, right?
Oh,
Exactly.
Getting into the top 20 is harder than getting into a fat girl's sock. It's impossible. It
That's
is
a beautiful
clogged.
expression.
Thank you, Helen. It is clogged up with corporate-sponsored mega podcasts, often compilations from huge million, radio shows that listen to by millions of people. How do you penetrate that? So we found that Luxembourg is the world's smallest country with its own iTunes store, and we went there.
Yeah.
And you were successful. But has that success spawned anything else, though, since?
Well, it's only been a couple of weeks, because we were number 3 in the comedy chart on Christmas Day and number 4 in the overall chart, which was very exciting. And I think since our success has descended, because I think everyone in Luxembourg who actually possessed iTunes went to it and then moved on and did something else.
Did you? Was it the fact that you were there? Did you manage to get some publicity around you being there?
Yeah,
goodness.
and
brought
that's the really helpful
numbers up?
thing. I mean, it's just about getting every pair of eyeballs and pair of ears you can.
Yeah.
You know, we had an article that we wrote in the Telegraph, which they asked us to do off the back of it. Then people are putting that on their Dig and their Delicious and their Facebook and YouTube, and suddenly we're attracting hundreds more listeners every day.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
for a small-scale operation like ours, is what we need to stay in the
But
chart.
difficult to keep that momentum going, I suppose. Once
Yeah.
you've had your hit.
Well, exactly. But in Luxembourg itself, we had to resort to rather more on-the-street tactics. So we gave out free biscuits to bribe them to listen to it. We put our sound man on the street busking our jingles to see what would happen.
But you see, it's difficult, isn't it? Because you say it's a free market out there, and if the radio shows want to do a little version online, I guess they're free to do that, aren't they?
Which is
Absolutely.
rather
And
You've
listen
just got
to
to be
them too.
funnier
Yeah.
and more persuasive than them, haven't you?
Yes,
course.
but you've got to be visible as well, and that's the difficult thing, because I think it's great that anyone can do it. It's a very democratic medium, but it's not necessarily possible to get visible.
We're trying to give you a bit of visibility here. We wish
Thank
you all
you
the best.
kindly.
Come back and
Bless you,
see us when
Martin.
you're
Thank
really
you.
famous,
Please
won't you?
do, yeah.
Oliver and Helen, thank you very much. Now then, Oliver.